Are you ready for the ultimate bikepacking weekend adventure? Join us for an unforgettable self-supported bikepacking trip through Southwest Virginia. The Grayson Gravel Pie Bikepacking Adventure travels along the Virginia Creeper Trail, the beautiful gravel roads of Grayson County, Virginia, and the New River Trail. All lodging and camping arrangements are included, along with daily routes and guides riding along with you. This self-supported adventure offers resupply opportunities every 20 miles for your food and water needs. Find out more at graveltraveldirt.com.
You're listening to Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brian.
And I'm Joey.
And I'm Jess.
This, folks, is episode 175 of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. Now, if you're new here, this is the podcast where we talk about gravel bikes, adventure biking, bike packing, bike camping, just plain bikes, and we were just in our little pre-show thing here talking about the fact that we have had some pretty badass women gravel cyclists.
It's been so amazing.
On our podcast
I know,
that have just gone on to do some amazing things. We've got a lot.
All three of us had cycling adventures this weekend.
So much. We've got so much to catch up on. And I'm gonna throw it out there right away. I had my first oral surgery yesterday to get my new teeth.
That's what she said.
And y'all are gonna. It doesn't matter. It's funny. They're gonna make me laugh, and that's the only thing it really hurts to do is laugh. So we have got a lot to catch up on this week. Joey in Grinduro. Jess in Loudon 1725, me with my Blue Ridge tour, and not to mention these first steps in getting new teeth. I'm excited about this.
Is there
week.
A tooth shortage?
God, I bet you there is.
Sorry. Park's closed.
You know what there's not a shortage of, though, right now? Cutaway USA. Cutaway USA offers premium cycling apparel born in where I just was, the Blue Ridge Mountains. Cutaway's an industry leader using innovative fabrics combined with clean, bold designs. Please, please, please head on over to their website to see all of the stuff that Philip offers. He's got an amazing assortment.
You need to pick yourself up some cargo bibs.
Yeah, you do.
Holy Toledo.
I'm going to tell you what.
First long ride.
It is really nice.
Second long ride, but like first real gravel ride with the cargo bib.
This is very discomforting to me. Jess is over here playing with Joey's so hair.
You know I can use a ponytail now?
You're going to have to play with my hair too, though. You can use a ponytail holder?
I think in sections I have enough hair, especially.
Let's do it. Hey, we'll take a picture for it. But anyway, I haven't even told where people to go. CutawayUSA.com. When you reach the checkout, use the code GTD20. Take 20% off your entire order. It's a special discount just for our listeners. And I saw so many folks on this Blue Ridge store wearing Cutaway kits and Ridge Supply gear. It was cool. I had like nice long conversation. Apparently, Matt's heading up to do the down to do the Blue Ridge, or up for him, down for us.
Man,
to do some of the Blue Ridge.
Go to the Ridge Supply website and you just see sexiness.
I'm going to tell you what, that Ridge Supply kit
I'll tell you what, you heard it here first. I am talk to Matt today. I am going to carry everything in the shop.
All the kits too.
We're going to do runs of each top, bottom, bibs.
Okay, so if you don't
the button up Sunday shirt.
If you don't know what we're talking about,
Get out from under your rock.
Ridge Supply has just released probably what I think is one of the coolest kits that they've done today.
I've ever seen.
It's white blue, a dark blue, light blue, and it's all flowered.
Floral.
And then
it's
floral.
Very coastal.
Floral. There we go. That's the right word. I don't know. I'm not a designer. And then there's like the button-up shirt that goes with it. The matches.
You can just wear around to the grocery store with Crocs.
So nice.
But the
Nice.
bibs.
Now they're Cutaway, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it all blends together so beautifully. Doesn't it?
All-arounder jersey is the same one we use.
Okay.
The cargo bibs are the same one we use.
Is there a base
Highline shirt? I think is the same tech shirt we use. The only thing, the collarless. No, sorry, that's not it. I was thinking the mountain bike.
Now he's doing pre-sales on that stuff now. Okay.
But like I said,
are the bibs cargo bibs?
Yes.
Oh, we need those. I heard
we have cargo bibs.
I know, but I mean, I need those.
Oh yeah, I'm getting a pair.
Is there a base layer? Because I got really into the
That
base
was
layer.
like really cool.
Yeah.
I loved our base layer this weekend. I got no comments, to be honest. But
Well, they just don't know
I mean,
yet.
cool base layers like ours and the Hush Money.
Mm-hmm.
Like no one does cool. Most people don't understand base layers. But once you get in that little realm of things,
It's like going to bibs for the first time.
yes,
It really is.
your
If you-
nipples don't chafe from and everything, and everything's
They're
kind of
really nice. Jess is over here looking at us like
Nobody's
I
ever
lost my
asked
mind.
me about nipples chased. Like nobody.
Oh,
has
I have
been
serious.
like-
If I don't wear, if I have just my bibs on, it
I
rubs me raw.
I don't suffer from that problem either.
I suffer from
What I really like the most is just wearing the base laser with some like tiny shorts, because then it's like really fishnetty.
Well, I don't want to pull away from the cutaway. I mean, Hush Money just released their new kit yesterday too.
I saw that the white
Very
one.
classy, with a nice base layer.
Mm-hmm.
And
I like the way that it's the white jersey
the
with
paisley,
the like
yeah.
purple,
Or what do they call
like
that?
dark purple kind of. I don't know what it is,
that-
but the base layer. I tell
Yeah.
you, the base layer.
But the base layer
makes
just a-
it. It makes it.
It's freaking cool. That is a great summer kit for them too.
Yeah. Yeah, I like
Very
all
classy.
the directions that all of our friends are going with their kits.
Yeah.
Where Phillip is headed, where Ridge Supply is heading, where Hush Money is, where Pack is headed, because you're now carrying their stuff too. So it's pretty damn cool. I am so excited about what's going on in the world of kits right now. And Jess, you've stolen Joey's Grinduro
No, it was
pink.
her gift, but I got it in my
Oh.
size just in case I want to wear it.
Okay.
That's how we operate.
That
I wore
was
her
the-
dirty kitten stuff yesterday.
Okay. That was the Hush Money made a pink shirt for Grinduro. And
Pink
it was the
with purple.
special edition. Limited special edition.
It's very soft.
Yeah, I do. I love
I
the
have
jerks.
a T-shirt thing that will happen to talk about when I get to my section.
Okay, very good. Joe, what are you drinking over there? You drinking anything fun?
I have my LaCroix. I got that Duclaw Limerina in a can. I had
what?
leftover.
The what?
You never had the Limerina in a can?
Oh yeah.
From Duclaw, they have like the orange stuff, Orange Crush.
Which is
I think
really
it's
those
Duclaw.
are the only ones that are really good.
They're delicious.
They're
And
they're
not,
wonderful.
some have like a weird flavor. These are smooth. They're just leftover from Grinduro.
So my section
I got
is.
so much free beer, I didn't have to drink my own. Sorry.
Why don't we go right into Grinduro?
No.
Or do we want to go right into
No,
1725?
No, go to
mine's
yours.
Sit back.
long.
Brian has 4 pages of notes.
I do.
Good
I
grief.
have so much to talk about. So starting with the teeth, you guys were asking me what they did with my teeth. So this is the first step in a very long process to get Brian some new teeth. Now, I've always had a bridge ever since high school. I got my teeth knocked out in playing baseball in high school. That's how it all began. And I've had 2 bridges. I had one bridge that one of the corners failed. You know the bridges where they grind down your
can see the
teeth
one,
on either side. It's not a Solomon's bridge. And then they make teeth that go across from post to post. Well, when I was younger, I had one fail, and then I had to have a new bridge, and then that happened
You
again.
need to go the D route.
No, well, no,
bad.
it would be horrible. So what they're doing is I'm getting implants instead of losing more good teeth, because that's what they do. When they put a bridge in, they have to take a good tooth and take it away as an anchor point for the bridge. So to get implants, it has to go into bone, and it has been so long since high school that I had any teeth, the bone has receded in those places. So when I went to the dentist yesterday, he basically flayed my gums open, held them back with things, ground away at my teeth, at my bone up in my jaw, and then drilled some little pilot holes, put 3 titanium screws into the bone in my gum, packed new bone material around that, and then sewed it all back up with what felt like 1,000,000 freaking stitches. He was sewing inside and outside of
Sounds like it
all
cost
up
$1 million.
around. The whole thing is going to be very, very expensive, yes. But what I get to do now is I get to wait 6 months.
With
So-
stitches?
Well, the stitches will hopefully dissolve and go away in like a week or so. It's what I hope.
That is wild. I didn't think about dissolving stitches in the mouth.
Yeah. So it's like they'll be gone, he said, in like a week.
And that's just witchcraft.
And then I have to wait for the bone to kind of grow. And then I get to go back in 6 months when he looks at it again and says, oh, either we get to do that process all over again, hooray, or we get to flay you open again to actually put the posts in. Then we seal that back up. And then we may wait many months more before I'm finally able to go to another dentist that will do the final thing. So I'm talking about, it's like a year, maybe a year and a half long process for Brian to get new teeth. But I am looking, it's time. I think it's time. Don't you think it's time? Think it's ready? I don't know. Nobody cares about bride's
Your teeth are very important.
They are important.
You know,
they are important.
if you're true to them, they'll be false to you.
Yeah.
Did you get my riddle? If they're not true to you, if you're not true to them, they'll be false to you.
False teeth. We get it.
Get it?
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah,
It's
we
a
get
good
it.
joke.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. But
Okay.
that's okay.
Okay.
We're going to work with
Just
it.
moving
love
on.
you.
Just moving on.
okay, back
Thanks
to-
a lot.
That was a teacher joke.
Back to bike things. My new Revolve Terra CLs, right? That's what I got? You guys have something going on over there that I'm not privy to.
I'm looking at the show notes.
Okay.
I was typing the text, but
Those CLs are, buddy, those were on point.
I love mine.
They were on point. Now,
They're nice and loud.
it's hard for me to describe that, I'm a big guy. I climb. It didn't make me faster on the climb. I'm not going to say it made me noticeably faster. I guess in the end of the day it did, because the climbing
Comfort turned into speed.
was a lot more comfortable. I felt like the wheels and the pedals turned over easier. Does that make sense? It just felt like it was, I don't want to use the word effortless, but it required less effort
Float.
to turn the crank over with those wheels. It was a magical difference. It was magical.
What was it, Harry?
It was really, really, really very nice. Now I did on the descending, Joey, I think we need to look at my bike. Because it had a little
Looks
shimmy.
good.
It had a little shimmy at like
No, that's what you tell me.
35-ish, and I'm wondering if either the headset's loose or something's going on. But we'll look at it. We'll look at it, and I am looking forward to. I think I'll feel okay to ride tomorrow night, and I'm looking forward to your Thursday night social pace on the
C for
remix.
conversational pace.
C for conversational.
But I was telling Jess, like, I am doing what I advertise. I'm not waiting for people either.
What do you mean?
It sounds really weird.
Okay, so if you join the conversational pace and you find yourself way off the back,
Yes,
you're still. It's not going to be a fast.
be
It's not
here.
going to be a slow.
but it is what we're going to advertise.
Okay,
Yeah.
like it. I like it. I'm going to do that tomorrow.
I need to
with
post
you.
that there because, yeah.
It's. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I'm excited about a nice, gentle, social pace.
Oh, we'll have our
we
segments.
can have conversation. I'm not even going to do that. I just want to.
I'd love to wear my new Coastal Rich Supply kit, but it won't be here by then.
When will that be ready? Do we have any clue? Let's talk about that
no.
some more, because I could talk about that all night. Matt, you knocked that one out of the park. Does Matt do the
doesn't
designs? Don't say that. I bet you Matt listens
Matt's
a
going to call
little.
and be like, hey, man.
He ought to listen, because we blow his stuff up. I had so many people like asking me, because I wore Ridge Supply
Matt
socks.
told me today he makes most of his kits because it's what he wants to wear.
Nice.
It's just an excuse to get them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, he's got a great sense of style. Fashion is what I would say. Fashion. He's got
The
a
store
sense of fashion.
closes on June 26th,
Ooh.
which is the typical 2-week fill-up window.
Okay.
And it takes about 5 weeks after that.
Okay. Well, I need to make sure that I save some money and get in on that.
Oh, this vest looks good, too.
And we can't take our 20% discount off of that, because it's Matt stuff in Philip's store. Maybe we could cut a deal with Philip or Matt or somebody, because I did blow Ridge Supply up. Everybody
Blew 'em up?
Everybody was
I
asking
didn't see
me.
that in the news.
Everybody all week long was asking me, because I wore my orange and blue of the Skyline Fire, the Croatan socks. I wore Ridge Supply socks all week, and I had so many people that were like, and then even at the end of the tour, they were like, "How do you spell that? Where can I find them?" And I was like, "Blue Ridge, like Ridge Supply, like Blue Ridge, Ridge Supply."
Blue Ridge Supply.
So I'm going to start that website, blueridgesupply.com.
Sell discounted Matt socks.
No, sell worn ones, used ones.
We have a whole drawer of just like one single Ridge Supply sock.
All right. Well, I can't tell you how excited I am about those wheels, Joey. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
And
I love taking your money.
I don't know I don't know what I'm going to do with them now. I've got those 35s on there, but I really think I want to put 42s on those and actually use this, because our next thing coming up is Grusk. And I think we roll into
Maybe for you guys.
42s.
For $2,895, you could buy that domain, blueridgesupply.com.
I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. Okay, so Blue Ridge Tour. You want me to dive right into Blue Ridge?
Go ahead.
Let's talk about Blue
Ready.
Ridge. What a great group of people. I want to start with that. What a fantastic, friendly, fun-loving, strong group of riders we have. This tour rejuvenated my love and passion for taking people out on bike adventures.
Especially after the last one.
The last one was a bit like, this one really did. I want to give a special shout out, though, to two riders, Patty and Robin, because they asked me to. They were like, oh, give us a shout out on your podcast. I was like, absolutely.
Give us a review.
Yeah, give us a review. No, they were a lot of fun. This whole group was a lot of fun. Patty really did impress me. She was riding for folks that had cancer. And so she had a jersey that had the names of all the people, and it filled up the back of her jersey. I think it was like probably 250 names on the back of her jersey. So that's always nice when there's a little bit of a personal connection. But like I said, the whole group was great. Strong riders. They all came prepared, which a lot of times that's
Boy
sort of
Scout motto.
Yeah. They rolled with the punches and kept moving the wheels forward. So that's pretty awesome. And also, we do this little optional thing on Blue Ridge. You don't have to, but on sort of the middle of the week, we roll past the climb up to Mount Mitchell, which is the highest point in the East Coast or something, I think. And so you could take the option of taking a hard right turn and climbing up to the top of Mount Mitchell. It added like 1,500 feet of elevation and 10 miles on top of a 6,000 feet of elevation, 56-mile day. So most of the group did it. And that was very, very, very impressive. Got to work with a lot of my friends, Greg, John, Don, Donna. Donna, I went through my leadership training class with many moons ago. We carried 3 vehicles. We had an ACA van and trailer, a 12-passenger rental van, and a giant U-Haul for carrying all the gear and luggage. And I also want to give a shout out to Adam at Two Trees Catering. Some of the best food you're going to have on the road catered. I don't know how the guy does it.
Does he do the Empire too?
Yeah.
I've heard about that.
The food is just ridiculous. I have no idea. We had...
I need to work with him and bail the last minute.
Man, delicious flank steak, salmon, beef stew, chicken, all sorts of crazy local vegetables and local food, and rice with wild ramp, which is like onions, wild onions.
Oh, yeah, wild ramp. You forage for those.
Yeah. There was lots of people talking about foraging. We actually had one of our participants who was a farmer from Kentucky. His name was Eric. What a great guy. He spent a lot of time actually pulling plants around and bringing them to camp and showing people, like, this is what poke looks like, this is what this looks like, and this is what that looks like. So it was actually quite a bit of fun. I really enjoyed. That was a huge part of the trip. That was just a lot of fun for me.
Did he pull up any devil's lettuce?
I was just gonna say Joey had a different type of weed up at Grinduro.
I was asking him about mushrooms, like a little psilocybin, and but no, there was no devil's lettuce and no mushrooms were procured that I know
Sounded
of.
very granola of you guys.
Which surprised me, but at least like, unlike Joey, I'm not going to talk about all that because Joey just shares all of his devil lettuce stories. So what we did was whatever, I'm not going to shut up. We met our group in Cherokee, North Carolina. It's a reservation, but it's not really a reservation. You familiar with Cherokee?
Nope.
They have like the Indian casinos.
Did they have like the drama going on, like the Duttons and them?
No, because apparently they were the origination point of the Trail of Tears.
Oh.
And there were some of the indigenous peoples that stayed. And they actually bought the land. So while it's called a reservation, it's not really a reservation because they own it. It's just an interesting backstory. So, but we met our group in Cherokee, North Carolina, and we shuttled everybody up to Fancy Gap, Virginia, which is right on the Virginia-North Carolina border, and then we rode south. Now, I was lucky enough, I got to ride on 3 of the 6 riding days. One was just a half day because we do a split shift on one day. So I did get to ride 3 days, though. Day 1, we went from Fancy Gap to Raccoon Holler Campground. Love the names of these places. So I did listen to some of these. That was a 55-mile, 5,000 elevation feet gained. Day 2, we went from Raccoon Holler to Pineola, down by the river campground, 57 miles and 6,000 feet of elevation. And this was the day. Day 2 was the day that I got to ride Sweep. So when you ride,
is that the day you called me?
May have been.
The ridiculous amount of climb. Nope. Never mind. That's
no, that was later on.
Sorry.
My Sweep day, when you ride, we put 2 riders as staff on the road every day. So we have one person that's kind of free riding towards the front and kind of filters to the back. And then you have a sweep rider that's always in the back behind everybody so that you're sweeping up people as they move along. And that was my sweep day. It's always hard, I think, to ride sweep because it's, there's a lot of like tension because you're always trying to stay in touch with the back, but you don't want to pressure the back. So when you get with the right group of riders in the back, yeah, in fact, we call ourselves the Grim Reaper sometimes, it's like the last thing I want to do is see you, but you do eventually encounter them. And so when you get the right group and when you get the right mix of people and you hook up with people in the back that it doesn't bother them, they know what you're there to do and you're there, you just ride with them kind of, it takes a lot of the pressure off, which is super awesome because when they want to stop, we stop, and I love it. I would stop at every single one of the overlooks if I could, and in fact I did most of them on my free ride day. So that was my sweep day. No drama. We didn't have any drama this whole trip. No like bike explosions or like bikes ripping apart. No ambulances call or anything like that, which is good. Day 3, Pineola to Albert's Adventure Inn, which is right in the shadow at the base of Mount Mitchell. What a cool little place Albert's Adventure Inn is. It's this really old like 60s motel that they've done absolutely nothing to try to upgrade. What is going on over there? You okay?
Like one of those ingrown sweat like pimple things.
Oh my God.
You got like fingernail it. Oh
God, Joey. And Jess had to watch it.
So much better now.
Anyway, Albert's Adventure Inn. It's just a cool little place. But that day was 36 miles and 4,000 feet of elevation. Day 4 from Albert's to Lake Powhatan,
Powhatan. I know that from Boy Scouts.
Takes you through Asheville on the Parkway, 56 miles, 6,000 feet of elevation. Now, this was my split shift day and also the day that the riders had that option to climb Mount Mitchell. And so I actually set up a water stop at Craggy Knob, which is just at the foot of Mount Mitchell's climb. And so I got to roll down the hill. I literally did that dream ride that you drive to the top of a mountain, like a mountain, and then you just go down. It was so much fun. That was for the riders. It was 56 miles and 6,000 feet of elevation. I think I had close to 30 miles and like 1,500 feet of elevation that day. So it was kind of a weird day. The highlight of that day, one of our lead riders got into campground and saw a lady blowing her car horn in the parking lot.
You don't want to read that number 1 bullet?
Yeah, I do. There were 3 bears that were inside this tent. This lady who not of our group. Oh. She had left her trash apparently in her tent, and the bears had gotten in her tent.
Bears.
The bears. What a sweaty place that was, though. I'm not particularly a fan. It seems like every time we go into Lake Powhatan, it's the second time I've stayed there. It's like really humid because it's where the lake is down there. And it's like you enter, like at some point you pass through this portal and you're like land the lost zone because it's all overgrown and dark and humid. It's like jungly and stuff. I don't know. And the traffic. So, folks, if you're riding the Parkway, for the most part, it is the car traffic is not bad. You'll have some traffic from here and there, but everybody seems to work together because they're to kind of, most of the car drivers are there to see things, and they understand that you're on a bike there to do the same thing. The crack of the week, the motorcycles are sometimes problematic, but going around Asheville, apparently a lot of the folks that live in Asheville use the Parkway as a commuter zone. It was so much traffic going through there in the afternoon. Kind of tough. I'd say if you're going to do the Parkway, that's a spot there, and Roanoke, same thing kind of happens. Day 5 went from Lake Powhatan to Moonshine Creek Campground. That was 57 miles and 7,000 feet of elevation. That was I was in the van that day.
People pay to ride with this much elevation.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And they're all ready for it. That's the thing. They're all trained for it. And I mean, they got out there and did this thing. They spent all day doing it.
If I'm paying, I'm going to do the shuttle to the top and then
Well, I did. And that's always an option. We have some folks, it's towards the end of the week. So I actually had a few people in the van with me as I was going to my first water stop for that day. and I saw 5 bears in the morning shuttle. I saw a mama with 3 cubs going across the road in front of us. And then just a little bit later, I saw a couple of our riders pass them. And then just a quarter mile ahead of them, a big, obviously male bear. I don't know what they call a male bear versus a female bear, but he was big, like really big, probably the biggest bear I've ever seen in the wild like that.
John Candy big?
Close. Close. It's a big bear. Big bear. And so he was then day 6, Lake Powhatan to Cherokee. That was 33 miles. This is our last day when we wrapped up in Cherokee. It was 33 miles and 4,000 feet of elevation, and that was my free ride day. So I got the free ride on the last day. The first 19 and a half miles was most of that 4,000 feet of elevation. I think I worked it out. From the time you left camp until the time you reached the summit of the ride for the day, 19 and a half miles. It was 188 feet of elevation per mile. That was wicked. So the total of 4,000 is not as big as like these 7,000 days, but man, that's a lot of climbing in one. And it was no relief either. It was a straight climb. If you look at the elevation profile, there was no like up and then you get a little down, up and then you get a little down, up and then you get a little. It was all up. So that was Blue Ridge for me. Thank you, Adventure Cycling, for letting me do that. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Sounds great.
I had a good trip.
Sounds like a good, yeah.
Good group of people. Can't say enough good things about that one. So, who wants to go next? Grinduro or
Jess
Grinduro?
go.
Joey's up.
Jess go.
I'm not up.
Argue. Jess, go, please. 1725.
Hey, Joey, why don't you grab the dog an ice cube? He likes them.
Dum, dum, dum.
Okay, dead air.
It's okay, our listeners are used to it.
Yeah.
1725.
It happened.
Yeah?
It happened.
Yeah?
It was one of the most difficult days I had on a bike.
Awesome.
Mentally and physically. Not so good.
No, that's good.
No, it's
but
not
now
so
you look,
good.
you're out the other side of it and you got a smile on your face.
Not every day is the best
Okay,
day.
well, tell us about it.
So,
Tell us about it.
well, first I got there, and this was...
Are we going to have a counseling session?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
I just don't know whether to pull out my pad and pen.
Okay. This was my first trip by myself without Joey. So if I'm going to do gravel worlds in Nebraska, it's going to be without Joey. So
you'll have plenty of support there with you though for gravel worlds.
Yes. It's just going to be different. It's just not like having Joey there. Because Joey does all the bike rides with me. We do the same mileage. We do the same pace. If I'm struggling, he waits with me. We go up mountains together. You know, when I say, Joey, I'm not riding another hill together, he goes, come on, Jess, you got to do one more hill. You know, so
okay.
Joey is the person for me. I mean, that's how he is in real life versus on a bike, right?
Good.
So that's who we are together. After he yelled at me about the dog, but that's okay. No worries. So
it's the little things that
I was
that's
getting
fine.
woman-splained.
It happens. It happens.
I think it is.
It is.
I think it is.
In this house, it is. But no. Definitely some positives of the day was Chris and Alex. Not only does Alex work at a bike shop and they run their own like production event, but they were out volunteering.
Nice.
They were out on the course from the first time that rest stop 1 opened until 3:00.
Wow.
And they were out there all day. They made burritos. They were out there. Chris was directing routes to people. Chris was talking to basically everybody. And, you know, they were wearing their dirty kitten shirt. And I knew they were going to be on course somewhere, but I didn't know where. And it was really nice to see them twice, both of them, during the ride.
Nice.
So what a great addition. Like, you know, gravel cycling in this area is close. You know, we see a lot of the same people on the rides. And it was great to see Chris and Alex also volunteer. Not that they don't do so much already.
Oh,
right?
I know, I hear what you're saying.
But then they also are out there volunteering
for someone else's event.
For somebody else's event. And I thought that was great. The course was hilly. I know that we recommend this ride to newbies because it is a good type of gravel. But it was a lot of climbing. And even
what was your totals at the end of the day?
It was like 3,500-ish feet of climbing. I don't have a computer. I don't have any
they're
computers.
long climbs.
They were rollers in the beginning, and I wasn't as I wasn't as ready for this bike ride as I usually am. Usually Joey and I have been riding a lot and stuff like that. And we just haven't been. I've been doing a little bit more running, doing a little more yoga and stuff like that. So I wasn't as ready for a bike ride. I used a porta potty, so that was definitely a plus of the day. I know, thank you. I called Joey and I started crying. I was on speakerphone when he was coming home from Grinduro, and I was like, I just used the porta potty and my face. And Joey was like, you did it, you're done. You gotta pull it together. Like, you gotta keep doing this. There was a group there from Sick. I got to see them at the beginning. I got to see Nadine and Amanda and everybody like that. And Darcy was
there.
So that was really nice to see them. I lost them fairly early to the ride because without Joey there, I kept doing a mile or two and then just stopping. And I'm like, I'm going to turn back. So I didn't even make it to the first photographer, and I've already stopped like 7 or 8 times, just because I wasn't mentally there. I didn't know if I was going to be riding with a group or by myself or listening to music.
You hadn't established the rhythm of the day yet.
I had no idea what was going on.
Okay.
I didn't know if I was riding with the Sick group. I didn't know if I was riding back. Usually I know when Joey and I go for a ride, we do it together. I listen to music when I get low moments, and then that's about it. I didn't know what was going on. It was a day of
finding yourself.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically what it was, because I kept doing a hill or something like that. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I want to go home. I want to go see Joey. Joey's home with the dog. Like, I want to be with my family. And it was really hard to get out of that mindset of just turn around. Like, just turn around, Jess. Just be done with this. Like, just get out of this ride. And it wasn't until I pulled over.
I was going to ask you, where did it change?
I pulled over, and it really didn't, because by halfway through, I had a cramp in my leg. And I've never had cramps in my leg before. I do know when Joey goes out of town, I don't eat normal meals.
Okay.
I'm picking and choosing, and that's not something you want to do before you're just going out for.
I cook good, Chef's Keys.
Yeah, Joey cooks, and Joey
he's
a good cook, So I put Taylor Swift on, and I just listened to it rolling in. Once I finally got Taylor Swift on, I put some music on. I was rolling, and I was doing fine.
Nice.
When I got to 8 Stop 3, I was still in a pretty good mood. I was still okay. But after 3, I totally lost it. So from 3 into the end.
What happened?
So the goal was 40 miles.
Okay.
And the goal was 40 miles. And supposedly the Garmin distance was like 45, 46.
Okay.
So from aid station to the end wasn't 8 miles. It was still another 10, 12 miles.
Okay.
The most elevation was in the end part, I think.
Oh, that's always tough.
The most elevation was in the end part. There was a water crossing on the end part. And I knew once I got towards the water crossing, it was good. I saw the photographer, and the photographer, he's some guy. We see him all over the place.
Was it Bruce Buckley? Or
I don't know. It had mountain bike
Brett?
on his license plate. And I said, when is this ride going to end?
No, because Bruce was at Dirty Kitten.
Yeah.
I saw his picture from Dirty Kitten. Yeah.
No, he was, Dirty Kitten was with us.
Excuse me.
He was at Grinduro.
Rothrock.
You're right, because we had Rothrock, Grinduro, and Gravel Grinder.
Yep, 1725.
1725. Is it Gravel Grinder or 17?
Loudon,
It's Loudon
1725 Gravel Grinder.
Grinder.
I
Okay.
think that's what he calls it.
So I got to the photographer, and he said 8 station, 8 more miles left. And I was like, but the aid station was 8 more miles left. And then every time I kept finding somebody, they kept saying 1 more mile, 1 more mile, 1 more mile. And it wasn't 1 more mile.
Right.
And that's when I absolutely lost it, because I was like, 1 more mile on my bike is like 2 to 3 more songs. I've passed 5 songs by now. Why do I keep just going up hills? I'm just climbing and going up hills. And it was mentally the toughest day on a bike for me. I mean, unpaved was easier for me.
Because you were lost and you had no
clue.
And
I had no
going
idea
on
where
there.
I was going. I mean, I don't even know what happened that this was the hardest race mentally for me. But it's okay, because...
Well, I mean, you said it earlier. You're by yourself. You rode out there by yourself. You drove out there by yourself.
I drove out there. I mean, when we go together, Joey always drives.
Yeah.
I mean...
So there was a lot of different things. So that's why.
Yeah. But the end goal is to be able to get to Gravel Worlds. The end goal is to be able to get to Gravel Worlds and put in a positively day for myself, right? To be positive on the bike, to do what I do and everything like that. I mean, I was miserable on this bike. I mean, I'm absolutely miserable, and
You're
I
on the
never
Crux?
am.
You're on the
always,
Crux?
yeah.
Crux,
I'm
okay.
always cheering on other people. I'm always stopping to talk to people. I'm always, just being a jovial person on my bike. I mean, I was angry. I was like, if I have to climb one more hill, I was just angry. But it wasn't the root spout. It was just that day for me.
Yeah.
And it
That's
happens.
I was going to say, I was going
right?
to interrupt you and say,
it
that
happens.
we all have our good days and we all have our bad days. And
So the route, amazing marked. It was
good.
I could do it without a computer.
Good.
It said hazard ahead. It had like aid station ahead. Like it was very well marked. I had a cue sheet. I knew exactly where I was going. I have amazing things to say about Andy Bacon and the ride he put on.
Were there a lot of other people on the course?
Fairly, because there was a 40, an 80, and a 120.
Okay.
So there were a lot of people on the course.
All right.
The aid stations were well staffed. I mean, there was people there. They were happy people. The volunteers were awesome. Andy was phenomenal. I came in and I was like crying and I said, don't tell my husband I did so bad. And he said, what? I'm going to tell your husband what a badass you are on this bike. So having him at the end, usually I see Joey at the end. Usually Joey's either announcing or he's at the end or something like that. But so I was glad to come across and see Andy.
Nice.
Whoa.
But it was nice to come into I knew nobody was going to be there at the end for me and stuff like that because I just took so long on my bike. I was so embarrassed. Like I called Joey. I was in the parking lot crying. This guy came up to me and was like, you're a newbie in cycling. It's okay. And I wanted to be like, I know I'm large. I know
That
I'm
was
crying.
mansplaining.
That was mansplaining right there.
I'm literally I've done this before. Like I've done longer rides before. I've done shorter rides before.
I wish I'd been able to hook you up with my friend Sweet Sue. Sweet Sue, we've talked. Sweet Sue's called in before.
Sue.
Sue was there with a few of her friends, and she rode Loudon 1725. And I wish I'd hooked you and Sue up because she's an encourager.
And that's what I really needed. I really just needed somebody who's like Joey on the bike, who is, Joey just puts your music on, not talking to you right now.
You wouldn't like riding with me this weekend.
He's very he's like, nope, you got to do one more. So it was good to see Andy. I crossed the finish line. I was so embarrassed of myself. I was talking to some guy next to me and he was just like, and I was like talking to him and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm so bitter. And he was like, no, you're fine. Like, we're all feeling this right now. Like, you're totally fine. And then I was like, do you think they're even going to have the blow up finish line up still? Like, he has the EX2 adventure thing. And he's like, yeah, there's people there waiting for you. So I crossed and the photographer was there and the people on the mobile bike thing were there. And, they actually literally there was a standing ovation when I came in. Like, It was nice. I was so embarrassed though, so embarrassed. All I wanted to do was get in the car, cry to Joey, eat a peanut butter and jelly, and go to a Wawa. That's all I wanted to do. That I didn't even pick up the t-shirt. I love t-shirts. I love t-shirts. We love our Gravel Grinder t-shirt from last year. I didn't even do it. I didn't even want to see anybody. I literally just called Joey and sat in the grass and cried. And Joey's like, I'm cutting you vegetables. Life will be fine. We're all going to go back. It's okay.
How long a drive is that? So you had probably a 2-hour drive back?
It was 2.5, 3 hours.
I was worried. That's the thing I worry about the most.
Yeah. And
when you have emotional bike days and then getting in a car.
I didn't feel wonky. My muscles tensed up and I have no idea what was going on with that. Usually this is the first time running or biking I had muscle cramps. And it was just my whole leg right on top of my knee was shaking. It was clenching. So there's a few things Joey and I talked about moving forward because, right, that's Joey's big thing. We can't go back. We can't change it.
Yep.
How are we going to move forward
Learn.
with this? Joey's very optimistic in that way. So we're going to look into getting a bike fit with Lori because we're going to hopefully get the handlebars raised up a little bit more.
Okay.
So my fit isn't so aggressive. It doesn't have anything to do with my legs, but it will just make my neck and shoulder feel more comfortable on the bike.
Longer days on a more comfortable bike are better.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. Even though Joey is posting on Sick that he is doing the social ride, that was my goal after school ended.
Oh, that was all her idea.
Was being able to put a C pace together for a Thursday.
C for conversation.
A C for conversation pace together for Sick. I just haven't put enough miles on the bike yet.
I laid the platform for her. I did all the work so she can just go.
And I did the route.
Ready.
I did do the route for you.
I mean, so...
Well, I didn't make the route.
I pre-rode the route.
Joey pre-rode the route,
Yeah.
sent me the file. I took the file and converted it into a ride with GPS file, put it on the club. Yeah.
And it's a tough part of the year. You know, school year's ending. We had a really, really difficult school year. We have almost a half day left. And, you know, we're getting near and dear the end. And I know this ride was beginning in the season for me. I know it was early. The last time I was on my bike was at the Dirty Kitten Growly Cat. So that was a while ago.
No,
I mean,
we've ridden.
Well, I think she's meaning like an effort,
Oh, we did. Yeah. Sorry.
like a
'Cause we just rode
concerted
St.
kind
Mary's.
of.
It was really nice.
and that was it was a much easier pace. I wasn't trying to keep up with anybody. It was all of our friends together. You were there. We were social. It was just, we're out on a bike having fun. So I'm excited to get back to that now that the school year is over. So we have little segments that we have to get through. Like that was my first race of the season. Well, no, that was my first race of the season getting out there. The big goal is to be able to mentally and physically get through a effort or a good day on the bike at Gravel Worlds. That's the only goal.
Okay.
So in July,
And you're doing the 150, right?
well, I signed up for the 150.
Okay.
If I have to go to the 75, there will be no emotional strain from me. It'll be a good 75 day on the bike. That is fine for me.
Good.
And it doesn't have to be fast. Like I just have to get through the day, and I just have to be positive about it. Like
how was the water crossing at Loudon?
It was fine. People were taking off their socks and shoes, and people were like carrying their bike.
Did you ride or did you walk it?
Well, I got off my bike because at that point my leg was already cramping. And this lady was like taking their shoes off to me, and she's like, "Are you gonna take your socks and shoes off?" And I was like, "No, like I just want to get to the end. Like all I want to do is finish right now." Like so I just piled through with my shoes and my socks on. I didn't even carry my bike. I just walked right through with my bike, just wheeled it on the ground.
The way to do it.
And then I got to a rock, and I was just like, there was a photographer sitting at the end, and I was like, "Hey, can you just like make sure there's no snakes?" And then he looked and he looked at me, like gave me a funny look. He's like, "I don't see any snakes." It's like, "Okay, I'm good." So then I just walked right by. Like I just continued walking through. Like so, the water crossing was like at mile 38. So you were supposedly only going to have like 2 miles left. I mean, there are still ties. Like people kept saying 8 more miles, 8 more. I was like, what the hell? 8 more miles. Like, so, you know, that happened. But I mean, I would do that ride again in a heartbeat. You know, I would just come into it differently. I mean, there was a lot of firsts for me. It was a whole new adventure. The people were phenomenal. I got to see Gabe at the Rest Stop 1. I mean, I have nothing but great things to say about the graveling community. How inclusive there is. There is an electric bike. Kelly Catelli messaged me in the morning, was like, "I'm so proud of you, like working outside of your comfort zone." I mean, everybody we've talked to, Cynthia Frazier since Unbound has been like reaching out.
You want to give some shout outs
to
Cynthia
like just
and Kelly for their recent endeavors?
Well, Kelly like did so well on the world stage.
It was a top 10 finish. She finished 8th, right?
Finish, yeah.
Over
and
Poland.
Then Cynthia Frazier crushed Unbound XL. I mean, she was flawless. And the coolest part is that not even an hour after she finished, she was like, "Jess, I just want to tell you, like, I think you're awesome too." Like, that meant so much to me. As somebody who can barely finish right now a 40-mile ride, getting Kelly and getting Cynthia to like reach out and keep encouraging me with things, I mean, that meant everything to me.
Awesome.
You know, it wasn't just like, it was these people who are doing incredible things in their sports, reaching out to me and continuing me and encouraging me to keep crushing what I think is a crazy goal.
I just actually drove through Lexington, Virginia on my way back, and I was looking for like the congratulations Cynthia Fraser band, but didn't see anything. I was like, well, Lexington, you don't even know what you got going on over here.
I just think, there's the community. I mean, there was a part of the climb where I paused on the middle of the road, and some guy was like, you can't stop in the middle of the thing. And I was like, I know, like, I got it. Like, that's my husband say too. And then he was like, Jess. And then he came back down and he was like, I listened to your podcast. I was like, this is highly embarrassing. Like, I don't have to be good at my hobby. Somebody just gave me a microphone, like I don't have to be good at this to love or enjoy this or to love doing this with my husband or stuff like that.
I think that's gravel. I think that's just gravel. You don't have to be like this most amazing person athletically.
No. And Andy does a great job of saying, like, this is a ride. This is not a race. Like, and that's what he said when you left. He's like, be good to each other out there. Like, nobody's coming back to anything special. Like, be good to each other out there. And I really appreciated that message. So just to conclude my section, because Joey's waiting to talk about his epic day or epic weekend.
What he remembers of it, at least.
Yeah, right? Chris and Alex were flawless. Like, what amazing human beings to the world of gravel in this community. Like, they're amazing people. Andy puts on a stellar event, which awesome volunteers and awesome support crew. The course you could 100% do without a computer. If you were new and didn't have a computer, or you were doing this by yourself, like, you could do it.
Nice.
If you needed a shorter route, he would have provided one. So that was really great too. He messaged me the day of, and I was like, hey, I'm doing this without Joey. He's like, don't worry, we'll make sure your tires are set. I'll check in with you in the morning.
They have mechanics there from any shops?
Bike Kinetic was there.
Okay.
Bike Kinetic was at the first station end too. I was like, I think my bike is broken. And they're like, no. And I was like, are you sure? It just doesn't seem to be working right. And they're like, no, it's fine. I was like, are you sure? Like, I was just really convinced.
God, I hate those people. Like, sorry.
He talking about you, not the.
Yeah.
Something's got to be wrong with my bike.
Mentally, I wasn't. Yeah, like, I mean, they could have like done like a thing, like Joey moves the gears and like moves the pedal. He's like, oh yeah, I got it. There was like something wrong here. Like, he probably doesn't fix anything.
Giving you a little
bike.
placebo.
Yeah, exactly.
Placebo
like,
thing.
Of course.
Yeah.
At one point, I asked some guy, I was like, how do you know if this bike was charged? And he's like, what do you mean? This is an electric? I was like, well, it has shifters. So if I shift, this is charged, right? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm just making sure my husband plugged my bike in. Like, because I was convinced this entire ride that something was wrong and it wasn't just me, So it was definitely.
Your bike was 120%.
You got a lot of things out of the way on this ride, is what you did.
We'll talk about that. I mean, and there's some things where I came back and I was like, Joey, I need to know how to fix this. I need to know how to use a Dynaplug. I need to know how to shift through my bikes to make sure it's working. So
I've showed her all that a lot.
Yeah, but sometimes it takes 2 or 3 times to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, let's just be real here, Joey. You just can't show one math problem. You got to do more than one, Yeah. You got to do it at least.
Practice.
Yeah.
You don't just practice it one time. Okay. You practice it many times.
So I know that the people are listening and they're like, you're right. Your spouse can never teach you something and you can learn, right? Like, Joey can't teach me how to swing a golf club better because it's Joey explaining it to me. I have to have a third party explain it to me.
You got to find some good YouTube.
So I'm going to find a Chris Gay to help me explain me through something like that, just because, it's hard to learn from Joey.
Yeah.
Joey just assumes I know it, which I don't. So a lot of things were out of the way. We have Growly. We have Dirty.
Let's mark them off. So it was the solo adventure.
Wait, pause.
Okay.
Porter potty.
There
we go. Okay.
Solo drive.
Yes.
Out to an event.
Yes.
Solo effort on adventure.
Yes.
Water crossings.
Yes.
Mentally difficult, physically difficult.
Yes.
So you had both mental and physical things during the course of an event when you didn't have that support there with you.
And I was also, I have like 9 bags on my bike and I couldn't find 2 of them.
Okay.
So I didn't know, like, the big tube that was in my feed bag. Like, I asked somebody, I was like, I really need this? Or can I put like more peanut butter and jellies in there? And they're like, I think you need this. And I was like, are you sure? Because I run tubeless. I don't need a tube if I run tubeless. And he was like, nope, we keep that in there. So like there were some things that I just always take for granted because I always ride with Joey.
So, but you had all of those obstacles and you reached the finish.
Yes.
So now those obstacles are behind you.
Yes.
Moving forward. So
yes.
all is well.
This is the 7th time my neighbor's backing up into his parking spot.
Yes, that's Mr. Steve.
Very entertaining.
But yeah, so it was. Thank you for everybody on course. I mean, that was a huge thing because people were definitely being like, okay, one more hill. So, I
Awesome.
mean, we got it. We're gonna do the B race. So B race is Dirty Kitten.
Okay.
Both of you won't be there. I
Nope.
am doing with my stepbrother, so I am excited about that.
Okay.
My stepbrother is the furthest thing from Joey. So he is calm and irrational. No, he's impatient, irrational, aggressive. So it's going to be a lot for me to
Well, you're going to get some
Michael
more
does
boxes.
listen to our podcast.
to block that
You're
out.
going to get some more boxes checked off. It sounds like.
Exactly. So I'm going to definitely have to work through another thing. And it's July.
Sorry, Michael.
Okay.
And it's July. Growly
Yes,
cat.
he understands.
He understands. He's fine. He is. He's this, he's very much like me. So it's very far away from who Joey is as a person and what I.
Well, you'll be ready for your B, and then the A comes up.
And then C is Grusk.
Okay, Grusk. Right.
So I got Dirty
Are you going to
Kitten.
Grusk,
You
Joe?
know, I don't know if I'm going to Grusk yet.
Joey, these are
You
all,
have to go to Grusk. Joey's going to Grusk. He doesn't.
These are all
Okay,
things.
well,
Well,
you two can come in and work for me.
I'm
I'm going to be at Grusk.
I'm trying to do these
Grusk
things.
is just a few weeks away. Grusk is
Yeah, no,
like
it's like July 7th through 10th.
it's
or 11th.
like 3 weeks to Grusk.
Is there
3
a
weeks
lot of
ago.
elevation in Grusk?
Yeah, depending
Yes.
upon what you
Literally is.
registered for.
Okay.
So this
I
will
don't
be
think there's not elevation on any ride.
no anything these guys put together. It's unless it's Matt
God,
down
like
in
I
Croatan.
don't understand why.
Total
there's
opposite
there's
down.
no like just like but you know what is I hate to say this, but I feel like Gravel Worlds is a lot of rollers. There's not that you go to these Pennsylvania rides and
This
it's
was
like
Virginia.
well Virginia too, but it's climb.
Virginia is rolly,
Oh.
punchy stuff.
Oh,
West Virginia
is punchy climb, is long
is like
climbs.
climbs.
Like
Pennsylvania's
Lewis
climbs.
Yeah.
Well, I told somebody at the aid station, I was like, I can walk 8 miles. And they were like, what? And I was like, well, I still have enough time to finish if I can walk these last 8 miles. And he's like, no, I don't think so. I was like, well, I'll walk faster then. So, I mean, that's what happened. I mean, I had to get home.
Yeah, you have to finish.
I had to finish.
It doesn't matter whether there's a whole bunch of people there or not.
It doesn't matter. So I did call Joey in the middle of the ride. And he told me I had to keep going. So it
Well, good
happened.
job.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
It was. I didn't even question. I even was riding there, and I was like, "The hell am I on a podcast for about gravel bikes? Like I know nothing, But I think that's
That perspective is, and you don't know nothing. It's the perspective of not that. I think a lot of times, a lot of podcasts are very preachy.
yeah.
And I think some of the things that people can relate to with us is the fact that we are back of the pack people. We are, Joey is very knowledgeable on bike stuff, but you and I,
Yeah.
not so much so. So I
Well,
think people will relate to that.
There we go. So thank you everybody who
appreciate
was at Gravel Grinder.
Well, congratulations
Loudon.
one more time.
Thank
Good
you.
job. Outstanding.
Thanks.
Joey, tell us about Grinduro.
It was fun.
What do you remember?
What do you guys act like? I remember the whole thing.
I didn't say anything, Joey. You're looking at
Basically,
me, but that was 100%
Basically,
Brian.
A hellbender and a guy with a mouth bow got me through the ride. That
Awesome.
was about it. That's all I remember.
No, tell me all about it. I want to hear all about it. I haven't heard. We really haven't had a chance to
First
talk
things
about it.
first, I went mountain biking Monday as a recovery ride and bruised a rib and bruised my kneecap.
Did you really?
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's not good.
I can sneeze and laugh, but it hurts.
No, y'all make me mouth.
It was a little
my mouth
wet
hurts.
in the morning, and because I just wanted to ride. I
A
was
little
kind
slippity do.
of took a bridge too high. I told the boys early on. I was like, by the way, I'm afraid of wet bridges because I crashed at the one at Roseville really hard.
So what did you do?
I took a bridge a little hot coming in, and I rolled off the bridge, but I hit a 4x4 with my knee and my rib cage.
Oh
Wait, are we
And I
talking about
somehow came-
Grinduro? Or are we
no,
talking?
he's
we're not
going.
there
He's going
yet.
backwards.
Okay, I got
He's
you.
going backwards.
I do have to put that in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was itching to get out mountain biking, but it was
On the
not
hey,
good.
hey.
My legs were so dead,
Yeah.
and they were really dead. Like I'm putting CBD on my knee 3 times a day.
It's good for you.
But no, Grinduro was amazing. I just want to be in Pennsylvania all the time.
So tell people what Grinduro was.
So Grinduro was a
birthday present from his lovely wife.
Grinduro was a birthday present from my lovely wife. It was a 3-day bike party, bike ride, challenging event. So it was the inaugural Pennsylvania one.
Where was it?
It was up in Sullivan County. It is a county where no one has cell phone service. The one general store is a dude from Philly. The church, like across the creek, is playing church bells. It was beautiful, and that's about it.
That's all there is.
That was Sullivan County.
It's like the train station.
Yep.
Because nobody lives there.
Yeah, basically. It felt like that. Like, you probably had more cell phone service out there. But there was nothing, which made it magical.
No, this was not a hay ride. This was a gravel.
No, I don't know. I would say if we dig into this, it was a hay ride for part of it.
But you didn't have the hay with
I
you.
didn't bring it with me.
You rode the Libre.
I did question it because I thought, I was like, it'll climb well. But anyway, yeah, we left Friday morning because you could check in at noon. And it was at this old fairgrounds. And it's like small town fairgrounds, not like Calvert County, big old farm fairgrounds.
You called Calvert County's fairgrounds a big fairground?
Not really.
So it was smaller than that?
This was small.
Okay.
This was like the perfect setting. There was a nice...
Like a shed and a field.
There were some nice little barns. And it wasn't like a field. It was like, side of the mountain. Nice tree coverage. We were 50 yards from a river.
Closest town for point of reference that people might be able to...
Williamsport.
Okay, got it.
That was like an hour away, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah,
okay.
It was the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
But I think that made it the perfect spot.
Good.
Yeah, it was just a huge party all weekend, no matter what. Like during the ride, after ride, before the ride. Yeah, it was great. Friday night, everyone kind of chilled out. SRAM had a big, really cool TP tent. There was a guy playing. He was like a lumberjack playing like a mouth bow and a banjo and a guitar. And he was really cool. He was like a real lumberjack too. And we set up tents. Everyone set up either had car camping. Half the people slept in the back of their Subarus. The other half had.
How'd the rooftop go?
Rooftop was amazing. There's probably only half a dozen rooftops there, but it set up instantly. It was nice standing there for a few nights. And it got cool.
Was the car level?
Yeah, very
very
level.
Cool.
Yeah, it was a great venue. But I knew driving in, I was talking to Jack, and he's on Komoot because they were using Komoot. And he's like, "Do you want me to tell you like where we're coming in on course at? Because it's just like up and down, up and down." I was like, "No, don't tell me." And then I think Friday night, he's like, "Yeah, we're going up like 1,000-footer right off the bat. 2-3 miles." I'm like, "Dang, Jack!" And this was Jack's first gravel event, so he got very spoiled. I was like, they're all great, but they're not all like this huge party.
It's like a 3-day event kind of thing. It's like,
and it was cool. Like, so Father Dave showed up after a little bit in his hellbender. I was like, is that Dave in the frog costume? And everyone's like, no, that's a hellbender, like the salamander, and reptile or whatever of Pennsylvania. The more I spend in Pennsylvania, the more I learn.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Dave had funnel cake all over him. He was drinking beer. It was great. They did a little mini cyclocross race. BMC was the big bike sponsor, and there was frame throwing contests.
Nice.
People were chucking frames. Some of them ended up on roofs. There's all kinds of weird stuff going on. And they fed us Saturday, Friday night. We ate at a food truck there. We kind of had mediocre barbecue sandwiches. And then we hit the mom and pop, like selling out of the farm stand, like those Bubba burgers, like on the flat top that were amazing,
super
for like
greasy,
$2-3.
Yes.
And me and Jack were like, oh, we could have eaten so many of those. They were so good.
I'm looking at your Strava ride. I'm looking
my
at
Strava was wrong,
but the first climb has to be about right, eh?
Yeah.
Because you literally started at the bottom, and it's like you went straight to the top.
Like you rode out on the paved road really quick along the beautiful river, and when you turn onto the gravel, it was up.
That's wild.
Woo. But yeah, Saturday morning was great. They started at 9:00, and everyone started at 9, and it worked out well because someone like me, a little bit slower doing the 40, I finished around the same time. Like me and Nate were at the last aid station together, and Mark and some folks, and everyone kind of wrapped up around the same time. I was afraid that I was struggling on the course at one point in time. was like, I'm going to be the last person. Like everyone's going to be waiting for me. But I finished, 3:30, whatever it was. 3:30, I think. Jack actually finished top 15 for the 40.
Nice.
He was 5 minutes out of top 10, which was awesome. That was his first gravel race. The course was ridiculous. They send you out on the asphalt really quick just to catch, like a mile up or less than that. And then you turn on to the World's End State Park, and it was just straight up. And it reminded me of...
I'm seeing like 11% grades on that.
It reminded me of the climb, the first climb at Unpaved.
Ooh, there's a 13% section right there.
Yeah, it got gnarly.
Did it have a switchback? It had one switchback in it?
There was a couple. I do remember
14%. There it is.
Photographers there. And then you get to what you think's the top, and you turn into a little bit steeper grade around a gate, and then you're on like this single track grass stuff and mud for like a mile or two, which kind of sucked. But it popped you out on the other side of the mountain on the bridge top, and then it flowed really well. And then it took me a bit to get to the first aid station. I think everyone was a little, I don't know. I think everyone got bogged down a little bit by some of the that wasn't even bad single. It was just like hiker, biker, horse, grassy, overgrown, which was cool. But first aid station, there's some decent climbs to get to that after the first big one, some asphalt ones too. But they had donuts there, like really nice donuts. There was pickles, gummy bears. Larry would have been in his glory.
That's a Swedish fish.
Yeah. And then Endo's of Lancaster was the coffee shop with Hush Money in Lancaster. They were doing they were pulling shots right there for you, espresso shots or if you want a coffee.
Shots. Okay.
And that's where it separated for the 70 and the 40s. But basically, at one point in time, everyone did this thing called Sector 4 because you have time sections. And that was the wildest single track I've ever done on my gravel bike.
Really?
I should have had to hay. There was other single track there where, like, I was riding with a kid. He was on a Specialized Epic Evo, and, we were playing Leapfrog, and, on the parts where gravel bikes should have done better, I was pulling ahead of him by a lot, and then we get to this wooded single track, and it's just nasty.
How did you have your Libre set up?
So I went into it. I put on a 38. It was Jess's Wolf Tooth 38 tooth oval chainring, which I couldn't tell you the difference between oval and not, honestly. Maybe I just powered right through it. Because my big goal today was not to hike a bike the first climb, and I went up that with ease, which was great. Because I'm not in the proper shape for that ride. But I did the 48 with 1142 on the back. Okay. And I went one by like a long time ago, and some people were just asking me about it. Like I did this right after Unpaved.
Okay.
And then I got the Terraville Washburn 47s, which are never coming off my bike. They're that because I wanted the 50s, the Pirellis didn't fit, but I love that Washburn tread pattern. The 47s came in the stock. Jess had my 42s, which are her tires now on her Crux. And there's nothing I won't do on those 47s.
Nice.
I mean, they got me through a lot of the single track, even when I got off at sections. They're super comfortable. They spin up nice.
Was the single track was rough?
Oh, it was like
mountain bike
rough?
rough?
Like you, yeah.
Oh.
I think it was definitely type 2 fun. I was so pissed. I was in a bad spot at times that day, and that was one of them. Because I was like, this. I didn't know how long it was. I was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to be so late to get back in tonight. Like, I didn't bring lights. They pop you out in the middle of a field. You think it's great, but there's just rocks under everything that's just like...
Oh, and you can't even see them.
And you're just getting bounced around. I'm like... And at that point in time, after 10 miles, I realized I forgot my tube. So I was just relying on my Dynaplug, so I didn't want to do any sidewall gashes and stuff. And popped out of there, though. There was Larry's... Larry's... What do they call it? Larry's Place or what? The aid station had cheesesteaks and stuff there.
I saw the picture of that.
Yeah, cheesesteaks were so mediocre, but they were so good. They were great. But at the bottom of that, it pops you right on the next, kind of like, oh yeah, we're getting over.
Yeah, we're here we go. Keep going.
Popped us out. When you left that, you had a pretty decent climb.
Yeah.
Which had some, mid-teen percentages, I think. I did hop off for a section of that.
Yeah, there's some. I'm sitting here looking at your Strava ride.
So there was a lot of my climbs there that my auto paused. That's why I didn't get a lot of my mileage. I got 40 miles, but I think I did 48 and about almost 47 feet of climbing.
Yeah,
4,500 feet of climbing after that.
There's a couple of spots here that it's long and steep climbs. Just wow.
But then, the last little bit I knew was going to suck because I was really tired. And there was a lot of reroutes. A lot of people were not doing the same exact routes as each other, and they doubled you back. But I thought I was going the wrong way for a while. And there was a couple little climbs that kind of sucked, and they popped us out at this last aid station, which came up a lot quicker than I thought.
What is this circle that's down on the southwest side of the route? It's
like I got lost at one point in time, so I circled it.
Okay. You added some miles.
That was one of the sections I got lost because I didn't have service. My commute wouldn't upload.
Okay, gotcha.
And it took me forever. I did get to this aid station, but I thought I don't know what I was thinking. I was kind of upset, but it was really nice to see Nate because I saw Nate and Mark riding together on that Sector 4.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fun seeing them and seeing people I knew. And then, there was ice cream and birch beer on tap, like birch beer out of a keg or like on tap. What do you call it? Like it was delicious.
Draft.
And it overlooked probably the prettiest vista I've ever been to.
Is that the picture you got on Strava?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty.
It looked like we were in a whole different country. It was so cool. I didn't realize gorgeous. From there. I thought from there we had another climb. It was 4 miles of descending on gravel.
Looked like you finished like all downhill.
Basically, it was sketch because it was telling you the lighting with my eyes and you get a shadowy section, and then a bright and shadow, so you didn't know how hot you were coming into the corners.
And there's a sharp switchback right in the middle of that.
There's a few of them.
There are. Yeah.
I got to the bottom, and my rear caliper, I haven't looked at it yet, but all I heard was grinding. I either killed my pads and my brakes. I had a lot of my bar. I think I need to service my brakes. I've had the bike for my Libre just turned a year old.
Did it?
And I got out in the asphalt, and that's when I thought I had another climb too.
Oh, but
I don't know. I was confused. I was kind of out of it, and the lady's like, "No, you got a mile and a half back to town." And I was getting ready to work on my caliper, so I said, "Screw it," and I just I bolted. And it was
just
so
gotta get
pretty.
It done,
we're in the bottom of this little valley along the river and the mountain. I posted some cool videos, and I got back at 3 o'clock. I'm like, "Oh, I thought I'd be back really late."
So you nailed
I didn't even care about my bike, and it's broken. It's still broken.
Well, it's a tool, man. It's a tool. So
and I got back.
It's a lot of people don't understand that.
Oh, I know it's a tool.
It's a tool, and it's meant to be kind of. It's doing its job and it's doing its thing, and then you fix it later.
And then we got back in the kind of showered along with a hobo bath, along with they gave us beer, and then we brought cheap beer, but Trevor and some other folks that I met, there's a lot of, I didn't say I met a lot of folks that haven't podcast wise, were there, and I just kept getting beer, but we didn't get,
it sounds like
we didn't get crazy.
Great time.
Because I did want to go to bed at a decent time and wake up. So I kind of knew my limit, but we all went down to the river because it was right there and swam and chilled out and sat around. And then we went up and got food, and the dinner was they had a pig. They just had a pig they were pulling pork from. The band started up, and it was you could tell it's probably an area where a lot of people retire to.
Mm-hmm.
And it was it's a bunch of dads that were like, "Hey, you want to start a band, Bill?" And yeah, they were pretty good. They started out with a Jimmy Buffett cover, and they played some wild songs, and they were kind of the funny dad band, but we're sitting back at our tent, me and Jack shooting the shit, and they were playing Garth Brooks The Dance. That's a very emotional song. I was what the heck is
everybody
they played
crying.
Everything.
Yeah,
it was pretty good. But there's the Philly Bike Expo crew was there doing a little handmade show in a barn, and Carl was the MVP. Carl has Alabaster Coffee out of Williamsport, and he's been a listener forever. It was fun seeing him, and I walked up he could have been mine and Wes's brother, and he had a story about Unpaved the year we went, and when me, Wes, Celine, a bunch of people were probably had too much, and someone thought like, they thought Carl was either me or Wes at the bar the night before. He's like, I've never told you this, but he had some of the best coffee.
Nice.
And it wasn't because it was like, like it was so smooth. And he gave me some of these really cool packets that I could take to work. It's like teabag coffee. And Jack drank a lot of coffee. I kind of limited myself. I got back and I had a mocha.
You have a coffee
right
hangover?
ride.
What's a coffee hangover? Like you're just wired?
I have those every day. Yeah, it's like when 3 o'clock, you're like, holy shit, did I drink water? Like,
I didn't have as much because my sleeping's been weird, but it was really nice to have like a nice mocha right after the ride with a beer.
So you went up on Friday, the ride was Saturday, then you left really early Sunday to get back here?
Yeah. You had to be out by 12. I didn't want to do the hangover ride because my legs were shot.
Yeah.
The hangover ride still at a 1,500, 2,000 feet of climbing.
Pass.
Yeah. I was like, no, sorry, Jack. We're going to stop at some mom and pop store.
Yeah, we're going to Sheets, buddy.
We hit Sheets on the way up, which was amazing. We went to Rudders on the way back.
Yeah, Rudders is another.
I asked for the extra large hash browns, like assuming like you get little, like just a cup.
You got a bag of them.
It was like a family size takeout container, and Jack's like, "What did you get?" I was like, "I got a sausage biscuit." And
Rudders
is ridiculous how many hash browns they gave me.
We need to add Rudders into the mix.
That was pretty good. It was a nice big one.
Yeah.
But,
Rudders has potential.
no.
Anyway,
no,
It's
on the
all
Rudders?
about the Wawa, guys.
No.
Like,
Okay.
I don't.
Sheets are.
Lord.
No, we're not going there again with this conversation.
Anyway, yeah, there was single track. There was
Do you have
beautiful
people?
gravel roads.
Do you have people that you meet in your travels that listen to the podcast that come and they immediately give you their Wawa versus Sheets
Oh yeah,
Some
all
guy,
the time?
I had it this weekend.
all the time.
some guy. We're at Aid Station 1, and some guy was like, "Jess, is that you?" And I was like, "Hi!" Like, I didn't know who this man was. Like,
It's so much fun, isn't it? It's just a lot of fun. I love meeting people.
It was like we pulled in, got settled, and I walked over to like the little tent area where Nate had his stuff set up, and we asked about the drive. He's like, "Oh, probably had a good sheet stop." I'm like, "He knew."
Where are you going?
Sheets.
We're getting ready to do this or
The
that.
dog.
Let the dog be. The dog can participate in this or that.
But yeah, like we went to bed like at 10 o'clock each night.
It's a way to be.
And the first night, everyone had the pre-ride, like, all right, we're not going to party. And they had their bonfire and stuff going on. At like 2 o'clock, I got woken up to people still out. Like,
How do you do that and then get up and do that massive
I don't
effort
know.
the next
That's
day?
why it's called the hangover ride.
Yeah.
But they were just raging it. We were in bed by like 10, 10:30.
It's a way to be.
Because we got up and we left by 7, and a nice easy drive home.
It sounds like we all had fantastic last week, 2 weeks. Oh, you're going to look back on it.
Okay,
You're
Last
successful.
little bit, Jess's mountain bike showed up today.
hey,
Hey.
No, hers is a cinder cone.
I keep saying, I was like, "Hey, look, there's my hey." Like, Joey's like, "That's not your
I
bike."
keep checking. There's no hay-hays in her size right now.
So am I going to have to pull my stump jumper out and get
I
it all
told you,
cleaned
If
up?
you want to bruise your rib and bust your knee up,
See if my
invest in some Floyd's.
I'll bust my teeth out. No, I'm not doing that. God,
You
that
wear a
would suck.
full-faced helmet.
I probably should.
And the mouth guard.
If I ever pulled my mountain bike out again, it would be solely to just accompany people as they go do crazy things on their mountain bikes, and I will
Yeah, we'll
walk a
go to
lot of
Cedarville.
things. And
I hear there's a nice beginner loop on the lake. That's
Actually,
what I hear.
I rode it again, and I'm like,
Jess is gonna murder herself.
no, like
murder yourself.
That's what I realized.
Murder.
Jess is just
It's
gonna.
fine.
There's been a murder.
I went down the backside of it last week, where there's these nice little like rollers, and like if you take it really fast, you gotta be careful. If you take it like you should,
Just to
great.
stay on the bike, but if you actually hit it, like,
but if you're like
if you full
pumping
send,
it,
it's like a
oh god,
woohoo.
you gotta hit the
You're
brakes a
gonna
little bit. But yeah,
case the second. Okay, you guys want to do this or that?
I'm gonna murder a dog.
Don't do that. He's just
When I
actually
crawled
love
underneath the
this thing.
table when you were talking, I was fine. We were just sitting there. He was looking at me. It's because you're entrapping me. He doesn't like that.
I think that's it. I've said it before. You guys need to switch places.
And it's I know the listeners at home like don't see us, but I can't move behind Joey.
I think
So I
something needs
can't.
to change.
I know. I agree.
We need a round table or
Lock them upstairs.
Anyway, okay. First item on this
We
week's
tried
list of
that.
that. Jess, you're first. Me second. Joe,
I'm
you're
ready.
third. Sunflower seeds or gummy worms?
Sunflower seeds.
Really?
I do not like gummy worms. I
While
don't
you're
like gummy
riding?
bears. Nope, I don't like them. I've never, ever once had a gummy worm from your feed bag.
Well, I haven't.
I just had them on our last few rides.
I haven't had sunflower seeds since I lost my teeth because I can't chew them. I love sunflower seeds, and gummy worms give me the
poops.
Yeah, Joey.
Ooh, I had both today.
Mm-hmm.
I always take gummy worms on my rides.
Yeah.
I do like the seedless sunflower seeds or the shellless.
Done that, and the jar
Weiss,
you just knock
and
them in your mouth.
You put them in the corner, and I like those because they're salty. But I do like my sour gummy worms.
Mm-hmm.
I left them in my cup holder all day in the car.
Did they get all run together? They're soft.
No. They're like they were the perfect
dissolvable.
Soft. They weren't dissolved. They didn't dissolve, but they were just nice and soft.
We had one of our rest stops. Donna did this. She was very wise, and she said we need some new things at rest stops. So at water stop, we had chocolate covered espresso beans.
Yes. Now you're speaking my language.
Do you guys have ice cream?
Nope, but we had watermelon, which I cut fancy. One of these days I'll demo that.
You have birch beer on tap because that was a new experience. I'm not competing, but that needs to be a staple at any Pennsylvania ride.
Not have any kegs. Jess, would you rather be a part of the party or get to bed at a decent time?
Decent time.
Decent
Hello.
time. Decent time.
Hello.
I had FOMO when I was in my tent. I'm like, I need to go over and hang out at the bonfire, and then I was very happy I went to bed early.
Nice. Smart. Graham crackers on the bike or saltine crackers while riding?
Oh, yum. Graham crackers.
Yeah, but while riding, your mouth gets
But somebody just told me, they're like, you need something with salts in them because that's the cramping thing. And
at rest stops, we always make sure we have salt, sweet, hydration. There's your basic food groups of rest stops.
Yeah.
I would go with the graham crackers too because
I love graham crackers.
That doesn't sound like it would be.
Yeah.
Fun.
I love graham crackers. I was writing this one thing and trying to ride your bike and eating these and when you eat those saltine, you can't eat a saltine pack in under a minute or something.
I know they had the saltine challenge a year ago.
Yeah, because your mouth will get all gummy and
try to ride your bike. I feel like graham cracker would give you the same consistency. We should try that.
Graham crackers have a little bit of sweetness to them though.
It's delicious.
Yeah, they are delicious. And you put some chocolate and some marshmallow.
I was going to say graham crackers with cream cheese. Yum.
And melted butter.
Mm. Oh, y'all making me hungry. Did I say this earlier on the podcast? I've eaten 80 chicken nuggets in the last 24 hours. Only because it's my comfort food from when I hurt my mouth. Anyway, Jess, last one. Scooter your bike around and save a chain or break it and make it a single speed to get you out of the mountains. So she doesn't know any of those.
No, and I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna set aside an hour and a half each day when I'm on a summer break, just to learning things about my bike.
Just do YouTube.
I literally have made goals. I've written goals out while I've been sitting in classes. This is what I'm gonna do each and every day to get better, to get to Gravel Worlds in a much positive mindset.
You need to take your new Insta360 camera.
I wanted to take my Insta360 camera, but I couldn't find my bags, and I couldn't put that big tube in the bag because my...
You should take your Insta360 camera and video yourself working on the bike of things that you do on YouTube. So,
little mount.
Yeah, I do have a really cool mount. I'm going to use that tomorrow when we ride on the
social.
Truth.
Oh, score, nice. I break a chain. I'd break the chain because I just replace it later on.
My chain, Joey cleaned it, scrubbed it, but I still got chain grease all up the side of my right calf.
Not really sure how that happens.
I think what he's saying is, if you can either have a problem with the chain and then just not deal with it and kind of use your bike like a Strider bike.
Yeah.
And get back to where you need to be, or you can take a chain breaker, break the chain, take some links out, put it back together into a single speed mode so you could actually pedal your bike and get away from where you needed to be.
Is there this or that says hook it up to an electric motor and just make it for another 20 miles? Because that's really what I was doing.
Other sag would be sag.
I texted my teacher chat and was like, hey, I know our friend has a electric bike. Do you think he would let me borrow it for the last 20 miles of this ride? Because I'm done.
You could stage an e-bike.
Nowhere.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Gravel Worlds, you could go ride 5 miles in and then stage e-bikes all along the route. You could make a business out of that. Let's do that.
Hell
Gravel
yeah.
Worlds, rent an e-bike for 20 miles and then you charge it and somebody else will come along. Anyway, I break my chains all the time. Whenever I have a chain problem, I just take the chain breaker. I never ride without a chain breaker, break the chain, put it back together, however it is to get me home. You?
Well, this is a Grinduro thing.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Pat Mr. Lulaka,
Mm-hmm.
in a part shortage, had a brand new Eagle chain that he blew up his cage.
Ooh.
And so he scootered his bike and did a hike a bike and a scooter.
So that he wouldn't have to.
You want to? You can't find Eagle chains right now.
Oh.
So he hiked his bikes up
so he's
the
a
mountains.
badass.
And then just like scootered.
So he did a little hike a bike
Coasted
and then
down.
strided it down. He did not want to kill
Me
his
and
chain.
Pat of Luwaka Honda, I mean, I basically hiked each of the mountains and then just rode it down the mountain.
Oh, Pat's a billy goat too, though. No, Pat will just.
What would
There's
you
one
do,
tough guy.
Joey?
I would do what he did.
Yeah.
Better
Well,
story.
you threw in the
because
curveball.
friggin' single speed 2 is tough.
Yeah,
you
you-
have to find the right gear too to make so it doesn't fall off.
Yeah,
but-
you threw the curve in there with the part shortage, but
yeah. So you got to do all this with a part shortage.
Okay, we're way long. You guys
No,
ready
no,
to
no. I
go?
did 11
Okay.
minutes last week, so this makes up for it.
I wanted to tell you did a great job with your
Thank
11
you.
minutes.
Joey
It was
always
very
does a great
technical.
job.
That was great.
It was once you turn the volume up because, like I said, I
Mm-hmm.
listened to it when I left here.
Okay, so
It was low, but it was the quality was good.
the volume can be low. It's just it didn't jump all over
I
the
did no
place,
editing.
which is the key. So folks just had to turn the volume up, but then it didn't like blow the speakers
No.
out. So, it worked out great. You did
Yeah.
a great job. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. It saved me from having to try to do something on the road, which is always
Yes.
a problem. So,
Yes.
you guys, anybody else got anything else?
No, I just want to say thank you to everybody.
Yeah.
It was just
All
so,
our listeners, we
it
appreciate
was,
y'all so
Oh my
much.
God, it was so nice. Like
I should have wrote everyone's name down this weekend.
honestly, I
There
really
was-
feel like I should have done that too.
I
Like
met
there was
Jill, who we
so
always talk to.
Oh, why don't we do that? I'm going to do that at Grusk.
Write it on
I'm
your
gonna
arm.
I'm going to
Tattoo.
carry a Sharpie, and every time somebody
Wee.
comes to me and says, "Hey, I'm so and so from I listen to you on the podcast," I'm going to write their name on my.
That's
I'm
what we
doing
used
that.
to do with
I'm
shots
doing
and
that.
beer and rugby. Like how many shots you took, you put tally marks on your wrist with the Sharpie, and then how many beers you had, you put tally marks on your hand with a Sharpie.
I was getting ready to say I was going to let them write their names,
Oh.
but I'm not doing that.
Well,
That could get
I'm hopeful
ugly.
that we're doing 2 different courses, so I'm hopeful we run into 2 different people. I'm hopeful I picked the shortest course. So
I think I did too for Grusk.
yeah,
I think I'm on one of the very. I did not do like whatever the
Okay.
crazy long distances are. So I wanted to be able to have a day at Grusk like Joey had at Grinduro, where it's like you're back in time, you're enjoying the party and the atmosphere and the people and the thing. All these other
None of
people.
that
out there-
120. Although I felt like we did the difference, just a mini version. Of it.
All right, anybody? I want to shut it down if you guys don't have anything
Well,
else.
yeah, Carl, Jill, Trevor, Greg.
I'm-
there were so many people. I'm sorry if I forgot everyone.
I'm writing their names. I'm pulling a Sharpie. I'm going to bring it
We
with
need
me.
a tattoo
Same.
artist. That
I'll
would
do
be
it too.
That would top off Unpaved. If Dave gets like a little tattoo artist.
A tattoo artist that gives you like
Here-
you have an unpaved official unpaved tattoo, and then every time you finish one,
Here
you
is
get
a
the
business
year underneath
proposal
of it.
I am proposing to Dave.
Okay, Dave,
I
listen
will
up.
get an unpaved tattoo on my body for 5 years of entry.
Ooh,
that is rolling after
dun
that.
dun dun.
3 years. Heck, I would do it for this year.
Oh, Dave, it's out
Wouldn't that
there.
be fun? I get
I'm pretty
I'll
sure
get
Dave will take you up
unpaved.
on that too. I'm pretty sure
yeah.
you'll hear from
Watch,
Dave on
I
that
will
one.
do it.
All right, let's shut this thing down.
It was nice hanging out with Dave, not as like a full. Sorry.
Well, I'm also looking forward to Unpaved this coming year
Yeah.
because he's got Cimarron is going to be the event
Yeah.
director, and he's going to be able to actually be more of the
He was-
part of the
He
event.
was so much fun. I mean, he's always
Yeah.
fun, but
Oh yeah, absolutely.
he's a great guy. He's a great guy for the community.
Yeah, absolutely. Right up there, Alex and Chris and all these other
Oh, yeah, all
folks.
the
It's
people.
just all
Pat
the
was there
people.
too.
All
All
the
the-
people. All right, thanks everybody for listening to this episode of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. If you're inclined, go on over and visit Cutaway USA, cutawayusa.com. Use GTD20 to get 20% off of your order. That is way number one that you can support the podcast by letting Philip know that you're on Cutaway because you listen to us here. But if you enjoy the podcast and you're not in the market for cargo bibs, but honestly, everybody should be in the market for cargo
Hey,
bibs.
you ride what you want.
I
But
know,
I
but
recommend
cargo.
a nice chamois for more than a few miles.
Chamois cargo bibs. If you enjoy it, maybe consider joining us on our Patreon family. We really appreciate the support, and your monthly donation goes towards Brian getting new teeth. Joey, how can folks get in touch with us?
Well, you can actually touch me if you come to events because I got a lot of hugs.
Yeah, it's post-COVID.
Yeah,
COVID's over.
post-COVID,
COVID's over.
yeah,
You know, COVID.
Where are we? We're on the website at graveltraveldirt.com. Our Instagram is at Mid-Atlantic GTD, which I realize I got to post more on.
I try to post there.
Well, like this weekend I wanted to, but like literally had no service. I had to post everything when I got back Sunday night. So,
Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt is recorded from right here in Blake's kitchen. You can hear him barking and whining. It also belongs a little bit to Joey and Jess, and they've got a new fridge, which is awesome. Thanks for riding along. Until next time, do good, be nice, go slow, respect others.
love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
They funded, yes, stove, microwave, dishwasher. Patreon is killing it.